Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and that life is treating you well, and that I hope the sun and the warmth finds us. So, today I'm going to look at those upstanders, those Jewish resistors, that really the stories that they have are absolutely simply remarkable. And these people, whether they were in the forest using guns or using their mind, really made a huge impact on the Second World War and the Holocaust itself. So our first group of people, they're actually four brothers. And you have to picture this place. It's in Belarusia, or Belarus today. And it's a heavily forested region called Novogrodek. And this place, the Naboki Forest in Novogrodek, is a place where these four brothers, aging from about, I'd say, teenager to 30, used to smuggle things throughout the forest. They grew up in a small village, and although some of them moved away, they knew the forest like the back of their hands. When the Nazis came, when the Nazi-Soviet pact was broken in June of 1941, of course we know about the Nazis advancing, and of course the awful acts of the Einsatzgruppen. Moreover, we also know about the people who collaborated. Those Belarusians, those Lithuanians, Latvians, those Ukrainians who helped the Nazis track down those Jews and murder them at places like Babi Yar. Those four brothers, they found their relatives have been killed, their parents have been killed. So the last thing, the thing they knew what to do was to go to that forest they knew so well. And by January of 1942, they actually had about 40 people in their group. But where to stay? How do you hide in the forest? How long can you hide in the forest? From 1942 to the end of the war in 1945, when they are liberated, they will become partisans. And from a small group of 40, they will save 1,236 Jews in the forest. And what makes them so special is that they are partisans. The Bielski Otriad, or the Bielski Partisan Unit, blew up bridges, it blew up trains, it did all of those things that partisans do to, of course, disrupt the Germans and to try to win the war. But what makes this partisan unit so unique is that they saved the sick, the dying, the elderly, children. It wasn't just fight, fight, fight. It was trying to show defiance through survival. And it is a remarkable story. I mean, they had to build huts. They had to build in the dugouts. They had to use trees. I mean, it's an amazing story. And as I said, they had to move camps several times because the Germans would find them out. They had to go deeper and deeper in the forest. By the end, the last camp they had, well, it was a very special camp because they had such an organization. They had a tannery. They had a sausage-making shop. They had a synagogue. They had a jail. They had their own jail. They had a little plant to make weapons and to modify weapons. They had a little community in the forest, in the town of the forest. And these four brothers, the leader his name was Tuvia Bielski. The second brother was Zush Bielski, Asoil, and Aaron. And these four brothers did a remarkable thing. Tuvia was the undisputed leader. He had actually spent time in the army, and people respected his rule, and he often had to be brutal. As well, a lot of controversy. We've talked about upstanders and controversy before, and they are no stranger to controversy. Even today, some people say that what they did was wrong. I'm going to put it to you, though. These people fought the Nazis for survival, but they also took justice into their own hands and, of course, used violence against people who collaborated with the Nazis, those people who were rounding up Jews, who were their own countrymen. They took their vengeance out on them. Also, they had to steal food. They had to go to farm and to get supplies. So some people aren't very happy with that. But regardless, they saved over 1,200 Jews in the forest. Zush and Tuvia never sought recognition for what they did, and they started a trucking company in New York City after the war. However, Asoil joined the Russian forces at the end and was killed. The only remaining brother still alive is Aaron, and he lives with his wife and family in Florida. I had the opportunity to talk to a partisan once, a Jewish partisan, and she's a very famous author. Her name is Faya Schulman, and she lived in Toronto in her old age, and a remarkable woman. And I asked her on phone once, I said, it must have been awful in the wintertime. I mean, the elements, the snow, the cold, you could never get warm. How did you survive? She said, actually, it was the summer that was the worst. The winter, you could eat snow. You always had fresh water. But in the summer, often you had bogs and you did not have fresh water, and that, the thirst was intolerable. So just a unique insight. So they were called the Bielski Otriad, or the Bielski brothers. And if you want to check out a great film about this, watch Defiance, starring Daniel Craig. It used to be on Netflix, it's not anymore. But if you can get a copy of it, it's worth the watch. So I hope you guys think about the resistance activity of these amazing people. And I hope you get out, get some sun, get some air, and I hope the weather turns better for you. Anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, study hard, don't panic, and be well.